The Cyberpunk Edgerunners collab hasn't even started yet, and people are already calling Kuro greedy. Let me be honest here though, there are definitely some things worth criticizing here, but looking at everything that was announced, people are blowing this way out of proportion. So let's talk about it. The biggest complaints right now are pretty simple. First, the collab uses separate pools, second, the collab has separate PT, and third, the collab is limited time. This third one is because on Starrel collab with Fate is permanent for some reason. But that doesn't mean that that's the standard. On top of all of that, the weapons also use their own pools, which means we are dealing with multiple banner currencies at the same time. Now, I completely understand why people don't like this. Having your PT separated from the normal banners isn't exactly ideal, and having another type of pool to deal with can definitely be annoying. But here's where I disagree with a lot of the discussion. People are acting like Kuro suddenly invented some horrible new system when in reality it is pretty standard for gacha game collaborations. Separate PT systems are common, limited collaboration banners are common, and while less common, separate currencies aren't exactly unheard of either. And you can absolutely dislike these systems and push against it, but calling Kuro greedy simply because they exist feels a little weird when most of the gacha industry has been doing the exact same thing for years. And honestly, Kuro already separates weapon pools and character pools in the base game. So the moment they announced the collab banner, I kind of expected it to work differently from the normal banners. Also because they did the same in their other game, PGR. Let's look at what I think is actually worth criticizing, the limited echo. For those who don't know, the collab echo is apparently going away once the event ends. That means if you want copies for future use, you need to farm them before the collab disappears. And that's probably the one complaint that I think deserves the most attention. Personally, I'm probably going to farm at least 100 of them. I'm not using those things for Echo XP once I level them up, even if they have subsets I don't want. I'm locking them immediately, regardless of anything. I don't care, because once they're gone, they're gone. Outside of that though, I don't think the situation is nearly as bad as people are making it sound. In fact, if you've been saving correctly, getting the collab character isn't actually that difficult. You only need around 125 pools saved up to guarantee a character and a copy. And remember, you're getting free pools from the events, you're getting the login rewards, and while you're pooling, you're earning additional currency as well, which is exactly why I've been telling people not to convert their asteroids early. Keep your resources flexible, keep them as asteroids until you actually know what you're pulling for, because situations like this are exactly why that matters. Another thing that I forgot to mention though was Lucy and Rebecca's weapon situation. So basically, there's been some rumors going around that while you can fully utilize the buffs from their free-to-play weapons, it still wouldn't be as good as a S0 R0 Ayuki. So the issue would be that you can't really utilize Lucy and Rebecca as meta characters without their signatures. Now, if you don't care about meta, probably don't really bother with this, but if you do, it can be a bit bothersome, right? But at the same time, we should have already expected this because this has been happening with a lot of characters in the game, especially DPS and sub-DPS characters. So yeah, just want to add that. Let's get back into the video. If you've already converted everything and you're worried, don't panic yet. You still have exploration, you still have unfinished content, you still have events. There's still time to prepare before the collab arrives. And if you somehow converted a huge amount of resources by mistake, you can always try contacting support. Just be honest with them, explain what happened, and see if they can help. I'm not saying they'll do it, but there's no harm in asking. Now, here's my overall take on the collab. I'm always in favor of more consumer-friendly decisions. If Kuro decides to improve these systems in the future, great, I'd support that immediately. But there's a difference between wanting improvements and acting shocked when a collaboration follows the standard that have existed across the gacha industry for years. The separate PT isn't surprising, the limited duration isn't surprising, the separate pools aren't surprising. The echo and weapon situation is probably the strongest criticism available right now, and that's where I think the conversation should be focused on. So no, I don't think Kuro suddenly became greedy overnight. I think this is mostly a case of players seeing a collab banner and expecting it to work exactly like the normal game. And when that didn't happen, people got frustrated. This whole situation is just crazy. But what do you think? Are the complaints justified? Do you think Kuro should change some of these systems before the collab launches? Let me know down below, and if you need help planning our rules for the Cyberpunk collab, feel free to ask in the comments or join our Discord. We are daily active. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.